2019 was a year, some games came out, and I played 8. Yep, that's it. I spent most of my gaming time playing older games and dicking around in Smash Bros, so this quick video isn't going to be very useful to a lot of people, unless you're thinking of getting any of them yourself. And heads up, there are no big releases in here, all of these except one are on the Switch, and I haven't played some of them just yet, so don't get too disappointed. So let's get right into it, starting with the 3 that didn't quite make it into the top 5. Number 8, Super Neptunia RPG. Man, this game was kinda bad, to be honest. I mean, it still has some of the charm and humor you'd expect from the Neptunia series, but the battle system was pretty broken, and the Switch version I played runs like ass shit. I only recommend it to established fans of the series. Do not jump in here first. Number 7, Tetris 99. Well, it's Tetris versus 98 other people. It's an addicting time killer just like the original. Number 6, Gun Pixies. Oh boy. This game is really perverted and hilarious. However, it's also kind of a bad game, unfortunately, with terrible controls and really repetitive gameplay. If the price goes way down, it may be worth it for a cheap laugh. And it has Ladies and gentlemen. Got him. Shit. Number 5, Natalia Raisa. I've fallen in love with the Atelier series over the past year, and played a total of 7 of the games in that time. 7! So where does Raisa stack up? Well, in the middle, I guess. For one, this game is somewhat different from the rest of the series. Better in some aspects such as graphics, exploring, and overall presentation. But presentation is only skin deep, and I found myself just kind of trogging along, not really caring about any of the main cast or story all that much, because they just aren't that interesting. Which is something I can't say about almost every other game in the series I've played so far. Despite all this, I had a lot of fun with the gameplay and exploring around the world they created for this one. I just hope the next one is more compelling, if they decide to set it in the same world. Number 4, Astral Chain. Platinum Games has done it again. They've made another fast, fluent, complex action game that's just dripping with style and incredibly fun to play. Once you get the hang of it, that is. I still don't really know all the ins and outs of combat, and was in a continual state of learning throughout the entire game. Fighting off enemies with Bayonetta-style combat while directing your Legion partner at the same time was really difficult, but really satisfying when you pull off some cool stunts. The main thing that held it back from being higher on the list was that thud of an ending, and the final boss is just, well, let's just say I read a lot. Number 3, Fate Extella Link. Man, this series is weird, but I'm starting to like it. I've played both Fate Extella games, but I don't really have any experience with the series outside of that. I can say that you don't really need to have experience with the series if you want to try out these Warriors-like Musou games. I've enjoyed them both greatly, and ended up 100% completing Link. It adds a lot of characters in addition to everything from the first one, and has a story that's pretty good, but less weird. Arjuna was my favorite character hands down, followed by Elizabeth and everyone's favorite pretty boy Astolfo. The battles are very fun and addicting, so if you enjoy that kind of gameplay and are weeb as fuck, this should be right up your alley. Number 2, Dragon Quest Builders 2. This was the game I wanted most in 2019 before it came out. One of my coworkers really urged me to play the first Dragon Quest Builders, and I was skeptical about it, but once I tried it, I was hooked. I spent hundreds of hours building shit in the first game, and another 400 hours building shit in the second game without playing or doing literally anything else in that time. And then I got burnt out. But I absolutely loved my time with this game, and I will definitely return to it at some time in the future. I had something big I was creating after all. So what's stopping a game I sank 400 hours into from being number 1? Well, once I actually did start building a lot of things, the Switch version tanks hard in frame rate and becomes a chore to play, to the point where it was making my eyes hurt. Plus, getting through the story was kind of a slog. I wanted it to be over just so I could build whatever I wanted without any restrictions. It took me about 50 to 60 hours to get through it, and while there are plenty of amusing and charming moments scattered throughout the story, it was really just needlessly slow and not very interesting. Unlike the next game. Number 1, Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 3. The Legend of Heroes is one of the best Japanese RPG series I have ever experienced. Not only does each game stand on their own merits, the Trails series is all part of one great continuous narrative about the land of Zemuria, the people, and the regions in that world. If we go in chronological order, this game is the 8th on the timeline out of 9 games that currently exist, with the 10th game being announced for Japan recently as well. That being the case, I definitely cannot recommend anyone jumping into the series with this game. The series is very lore heavy, which makes the game world so much more fascinating to learn about throughout this long saga. The story in the series is fantastic, the characters all lovable, with one of the longest scripts in video game history. The battle system is incredibly engaging too, and you have so many characters that you can use with so many different customization options that no 2 playthroughs will be identical if you don't want them to be. By the end of my 110-hour playthrough, I didn't want it to end. I wanted to keep going, and I almost went and played through New Game Plus right then and there, which is something I never do after I beat a game, but I decided I should save it for right before the next one comes out. However, as much as I loved the hell out of this game, there is a small problem. But we'll save that for another video. And that's it. I've been really tempted to make a video dedicated to the Legend of Heroes series, so keep an eye out for that. And thank you for watching. If you like this video and want me to make more, let me know. You know what to do.